Torpedorohr 4 gewartet.
Alright, welcome on board again for another late night stream. And tonight, as usual, on Friday night, we are doing U-Boat. So, Second World War submarine simulation. We are slipping into the role of a German Kaloin, of a German commander of a submarine, with the task of sinking as much merchant tonnage as possible. So here we are. Let me briefly summarize the situation. We are at the port of La Rochelle in this submarine pen, and okay, it's night time, so we see the nice view of La Rochelle at night, and the two lighthouses guarding the entrance to the port, but not too much else to see. I am playing on almost maximum difficulty level, which includes dark nights, realistically dark nights. So we are here, that's La Rochelle, and we are almost, okay, we are already in September, wasn't aware of that, so the name of the stream is not quite true, and not August anymore, so that means we are now 3 years into the war, so we are doing quite some consequent playthrough through the whole scenario. So we started in the year of 39, September 39, with the beginning of the war, and we slipped into the role of the commander of a small Type 2 submarine, low range, low maximum speed, few torpedoes. A bit of a pain in the ass actually, but so lovely, because it was back then when we started the campaign, they just introduced this as a second type of submarine, and that was pretty amazing. So now there is 2 submarines in the game which are completely kind of modeled and simulated in all detail, and that's just great. And so I couldn't resist and started the campaign back then with that small submarine, and finally we earned our merits one by one, sinking lots of merchantmen, and after a while got promoted, and now we are the proud commander of a Type 7C submarine. Believe me, the open world of this game is amazing. So no scripted encounters or something, but it's just kind of, it all comes natural. You roam the sea and you run into enemy convoys, which are, actually programmed to cross the seas on their kind of natural fairways and routes, shipping routes, and you really have to search for them. So the whole theater, the whole open world feels so alive, and that's what really makes a difference from any other submarine sim that I've ever been playing. So now we came back from a, I would say, rather successful patrol over here. You see lots of dots. Let's erase them. Playing high difficulty level means that enemy ships are not marked on the map, but you really have to keep track of them manually, and that's what we did. So we are deep into the Operation Drumbeat off the Canadian coast, intercepting the Allied convoys early, and whenever we think merchant tonnage in one of these quadrants here, we get it accounted for this Operation Drumbeat. And yeah, we need 200,000 tons overall to fulfill it. We are a bit away, but not that far. Maybe 2 missions. Yeah, however, we can only reach and actually operate along the American coast because since a while we have available milk cows, which is large kind of transport submarine, supply submarine, which you can place. I placed one here, and after having crossed the Atlantic, you have burned a whole lot of fuel, and then you can call in for a milk cow rendezvous, get fuel, get torpedoes, get food, and then go for your mission area fully refueled. That's the idea. And well, now let's go back to La Rochelle and think about what kind of mission we would like to do next. Hey, weight loss, great to have you in. Good evening. So, how was your day? Yeah, as for me, now I am officially in winter holidays. So, well, no work for 2 weeks. And yeah, feeling pretty relaxed. Yeah, great to have you in. So I hope you also had a smooth transfer out of the week. And yeah, hopefully also for you into Christmas holidays. No. Ah, yes, you said you would visit your parents. Yeah, right. Yeah. Yeah, that's nice. That's all right. So, yeah, well, how was it? I think we were discussing if you might be able to do a little bit of streaming with your laptop while you are there. If I remember right, your laptop was well able to manage to handle a game like UBOAT. Just, let's finally check, but I think we are all right with respect to the stores. Yeah, we can go like that. Okay, yes, on the way back on our last mission out there, we were out for many, many days. I think the last mission took us out for almost 1.5 months, and the crew was pretty finished off, and we had to send them for a 3 weeks shore leave, but now they are perfectly fine again. Discipline is back to 100%, and so we don't have to kind of worry about the discipline for a while. Yeah, okay. Well, maybe it's also quite nice to just have a few days completely off. Yeah, all right. So,
Ihr Verbindungsoffizier, um die Befehle vom BDU weiterzuleiten. Wie kann ich viel Glück bei Ihrem
let's
nächsten Einsatz, Herr
first
Kommandant? Kommen Sie
give
und
it a
Ihre
save.
Mannschaft gesund zurück.
W233. And now let's consider which mission to do next.
Eilt Ihnen voraus, Herr Kommandant. Dies sind aktuelle Einsatzbefehle vom BDU. Streng geheim.
Okay, there is this patrol just in the middle of the Atlantic, and well, that feels pretty pointless actually. Wouldn't do that. Difficulty low, yeah, come on. Southern routes might be interesting. Yeah, you get this buff of cheaper imports. I mean, it would just be interesting to go down there and see what it's like, but this is not so important to have cheap coffee. Don't know what other goods that would be. If it weren't about prices but increasing availability of fruit or something, then it would be another cup of tea, but like that. And then we could continue Operation Drumbeat with high difficulty level. And the reward would be another milk cow. Yeah, but yeah, for that we have to fulfill the whole mission and get the 200,000 tons. And for that particular patrol mission, we would get an additional radio man officer available and 8,000 rice mark. What else would we have? Weather station deployment. Also pretty pointless, I would say. Yeah, okay, so. And another weather station. Yeah, okay, so to be honest, I'm not quite sure what the point of these weather station deployment missions is. So let's just not do it. Let's just do another Operation Drumbeat mission. It's high difficulty level. Any special remarks? Sink enemy trade ships for 10,000 tons. Increased presence of enemy escort ships was recently noticed. Yeah, well. We are seeking the challenge. Let's go. Okay, guys. Time of the day, it's midnight. And we are going out. Let's head for the milk cow. Yeah, even the details of the port are on the map, and the depth of the sea close to the coast, all pretty nicely simulated. Yeah, you see the depth here via mouse over. Wherever you put the mouse on the map, you get, like around here, it's 20 to 50 meters. And hey ho, let's go. Let's start, kleine Fahrt. Slow ahead. Yeah, no band playing. In other games you always had a band playing when you were leaving port. And I think in this game also it was once the case that there was a band playing on the pier. But, well, I don't know what happened to that feature. And there we go into the night. Yeah, that's the specialization of the crew. Whenever this progress bar reaches 100% or 500 points, you can spend one more training on one of your crew members and decide whether you make another crew member diving expert, silent running expert, or good in keeping discipline. Wonderful feature. So the roleplay progressed one step further towards the crew. Yeah, I have loads of officers, more than I can spend. The funny thing is that some of my crewmates also are gaining experience. So he's level 2 already. And I'm never sure what the meaning of that actually is. So you were just talking about language skills. I'm not quite sure if any of my officers has some decent language skills. Not him. That's the Captain Lamprecht. First bosun, Mr. Drummer. No language skill.
Herr Kaloin.
Chief Engineer. No language skill as well. First Mechanic, Mr. Arles. Okay, he's a good Spanish speaker, yeah. But I don't think that I have any English speakers. Mr. Schneider. Okay, he's French speaker. Mr. Hinrich. No language skills. And Mr. Green. Also no language skills. So I'm actually having no officer who is in command of the English language. So here we go for the log. And very amazing. At some point in the war, when I re-entered port, they had built, while I was away, they had built this kind of, air shelter above one of the two logs. Yeah, it makes kind of sense because the ships might be caught in the lock during an air raid, but I never knew that they did it, that they did that effort to build an air shelter across a lock. So that's it. And yeah, this is the offing. And there out in the offing there is another far out lighthouse. And if we turn around, yeah, we see the faint light of the lighthouses here guarding the entrance to the port of La Rochelle. I love that graphics. I mean, consider it's a submarine simulation, so of course there are other games which have better kind of countryside. But yeah, for a ship simulator, I feel it's really great. Okay, are we in the log? I think we are. Yep. So leaving port. That noise is probably the lock opening, I guess. But that's a new sound. I'm not familiar with that. Ah, but that, yeah, probably it was the moving door of the lock. And there we are, leaving port. Let's go. Cruise speed. By the way,
Ich erwarte Ihre Befehle.
Mr. Trundle, I really love this first-person view. Whenever it is night, the crew turns on the red light because this makes your eyes being used to the darkness. So whenever you get out, being on watch on the conning tower, you have a better eyesight in the dark. And this really makes a difference in the game. Okay, at ease, guys. So, we are going out again. Good guys, the last trip was a great success. Our torpedoes and the 4 tubes. Everything looks a little bit eerie in the red light. Yeah, this is the officers' bunks, and the officers were just on off watch, relaxing. Mr. Grade and here Mr. Hinrich at the passive radar detection system. Captain's bunk, the most comfortable spot in the boat. Radio station. There we go to the command center. Mr. Rossmann, one of the crewmates of the watch group, at the helm. Yeah, and the 2 that steers unattended, of course, at the moment. We are on the surface. The map. Echo sounding. The compass, the gyro compass, and the pump. That's the petty officer's mess. And yeah, the crew, also off-watch crew taking a rest here. And the galley. Mr. Hornicle, one of the crewmates, being on watch, caring for the galley. And this is the big baby, the diesel. Mr. Arles attending to the diesel engines with 2 crewmates. And a bit more quiet back here. Electric engines at rest at the moment. And the diesel compressor and the electric compressor, one of the most important parts of the boat, giving us compressed air to push the water out of the ballast tanks if needed. And yeah, back torpedo aft torpedo tube. Hey Colin, good evening. Welcome to the stream. Yeah, and thanks for the little explanation in the comment. About the T5 sound-seeking torpedoes. Well, maybe if I'm just around to show you the boat, let's just climb up into the conning tower. Here is the periscope, the attack periscope, some gauges, and the torpedo calculator. And here we can get up, but nothing much to see. It's dark. And there, astern, La Rochelle vanishing in the darkness. Hey, weight loss. That's great. You're also on YouTube. So here we are actually. So Mr. Drummer, he can turn in again. It's his off watch actually. So that means Colin is also a regular guest in your streams. Yeah, nice. Very nice. When shall we three meet again? Yeah. Okay, out we are. Save the game, and now we can do a bit of time acceleration. Hey, Artorius, nice to have you in. Yeah, you're completely right. The convoys don't stop for Christmas, so we have to continue to go out. Yeah, thanks for joining the chat and the stream. Nice to have you in. So, how are you doing? I hope you had a smooth run out of the week and maybe out of the working year. Yeah, not everybody might be so lucky, but at least for me, that was it. So I had my last official working day today for the year, and now 2 weeks off. Although I have to admit I have a few things to do meanwhile, but in principle I am on holiday from now on. Now let's accelerate. Yeah, at first we can't go to full acceleration of time because we are still too close to the shores. But now, let's go. Okay, ships detected. It's just French fishing boats, just French fishermen. Yeah, I say just French fishermen, but they might be resistance. And They might radio us leaving port to the Allies. Mr. Trummel, why don't you man the navigation table?
Ich benötige hier etwas Unterstützung. Betrachten Sie es als erledigt, Herr Kaloy.
So I always do a little bit of micromanagement to save fuel and to make sure that my navigation correctness stays up high. So whenever you have one of your officers, one of your technical officers on watch, they can attend the engines, and if you give them 2 additional crew hands, they can considerably reduce the fuel usage by kind of tweaking, meddling around with the settings of the engines to optimize it. And this brings, let me see, 30% of fuel saving and additional fuel saving, because right now I also in parallel have Mr. Trummel at the map with 2 hands, so they optimize the course according to wind blowing, to sea currents and things. Also gives me, so in total now I have something like 50%. If it's working like that, not quite sure. Reduced fuel usage. On we go. And yeah, after a while, so now Mr. Trummel was on watch for 2 watches for 8 hours, so you see his fitness bar going down. So let's give him his well-earned off-watch rest. And on we go.
Navigation besetzen.
Ich benötige hier etwas Unterstützung.
Natürlich, Herr Kaloy.
Yeah, so as usual, I like to emphasize that this is no arcade game and no quick action game. You need a bit of patience, but are rewarded, as I think, with some wonderful immersion into the game. Hey DS, nice to have you in. Pleasure to have you. How are you doing? How was your day? How was your week? How was your year? Yeah, we are closing in for the end of the year.
Ich könnte etwas Hilfe gebrauchen.
Jawohl, Herr Kaloy.
Ich benötige hier etwas Unterstützung.
Wird erledigt, Herr Kaloy.
Navigation besetzen.
Yeah. For the beginning, yeah. If you play it for a while, you get used to the concepts, but yeah, you're right, it's not 100% self-explaining. But maybe it helps a bit to watch the streams and videos of other people doing it. So whenever you have any question how things work, don't hesitate to put them into the chat. So, for sure I'm not omniscient, but yeah, I do have a little bit of experience in the game. So, I might help, or the other guys in the chat might help. There are some guys in the chat who have, yeah, at least even maybe more experience in the game than me. But yeah, it's something like a bit more than 1,000 hours, I think, if I ask my Steam account. On we go, passing that northern tip of the Spanish Peninsula.
Ich könnte etwas Hilfe gebrauchen.
On we go now, 12 o'clock lunchtime. Yeah, of course, we are still so far out. It's on the map it looks close, but we are so far out there is no chance in spotting the shore from around here. Yeah, the weather is alright, not too much of a swell. The engine's running smoothly. Hey guys, I really love the graphics. I might have mentioned that before. So let's carry on. It gets a bit foggy. That symbol here tells us, yeah, you really see the difference. The different weathers are simulated beautifully. You see the spray going up at the bows. And it right away, if I just look at the graphics, it gives me a little bit of that chilly feeling of, yeah, the moist air of the fog. Fog is good because it prevents air patrols spotting us.
Ich benötige hier etwas Unterstützung.
So we have reached the northern tip of Spain, and yeah, you see we still have quite some way to go. What archipelago is this? Is it the Azores? Azoren? I think it is, right? But I'm not quite sure, to be honest. Yeah, okay. I trust your word on that. Colin, do you think they are actually improving graphics as well? So some general improvements? I'm very curious on the update. Yeah, great, weight loss. You have been there. Yeah. Pretty amazing. Yeah, I did read it, but to be honest, yeah, I probably didn't keep everything in mind.
Navigation besetzen.
Ich könnte etwas Hilfe gebrauchen.
benötige hier etwas Unterstützung.
Ich benötige hier etwas Unterstützung.
Wird erledigt, Herr Kaloin. Torpedorohr 2 gewartet.
Ich benötige hier etwas Unterstützung.
Jawohl, Herr Kaloin.
Ich könnte etwas Hilfe gebrauchen. Wird erledigt, Herr Kaloin.
Ich könnte etwas Hilfe gebrauchen.
Jawohl, Herr Kaloin. Ich benötige hier etwas Unterstützung. Jawohl, ich kümmere mich darum. Ich benötige hier etwas Unterstützung.
Ich könnte etwas Hilfe gebrauchen.
Natürlich, Herr Kaloin.
Ich könnte etwas Hilfe gebrauchen.
Jawohl, Herr Kaloin.
Ich könnte etwas Hilfe gebrauchen.
Betrachten Sie es als erledigt, Herr Kaloin. Ich benötige hier etwas Unterstützung. Jawohl, Herr Kaloin.
Yeah, about the fog, yeah. So what, if I remember right, they would kind of have the fog more gradually. Not like now fog on, fog off, but different degrees of fog, right? Yeah, okay, the shader for the sea and the clouds. I'm curious how that would look like. And the way, yeah. Yeah, nice. Yep. About the tankers, that's great, because I always wondered why the tankers had this kind of special situation that you couldn't check them. And the waves, I already love the waves right now, but I could well imagine that you could make them even better. Just great. Okay, sorry, I was just briefly checking some figures on the streaming software. Okay, yes, I will be very curious, because this is one of the things that I really love about the game. And also in terms of gameplay, the waves really matter. I mean, tactics-wise, when you're doing an approach with the periscope, the waves really matter.
Ich könnte etwas Hilfe gebrauchen.
Wird erledigt, Herr Kaloin. Ich benötige hier etwas Unterstützung.
Betrachten Sie es als erledigt, Herr Kaloin.
Ich benötige hier etwas Unterstützung.
Betrachten Sie es als erledigt, Herr Kaloin. Ich benötige hier etwas Unterstützung.
Navigation besetzen.
Ich könnte etwas Hilfe gebrauchen.
Betrachten Sie es als erledigt, Herr Kaloin. Ich benötige hier etwas Unterstützung.
Natürlich, Herr Kaloin. Ich benötige hier etwas Unterstützung.
So we are passing by these islands. Yeah, it's nighttime, it's late evening, but we do have a bit of a moon. You will see that right away, that you have a bit more light. Yeah, look at that. Isn't that great? To see the boat endlessly pacing the waves. In the moonshine. Everything looks so peaceful. The sea is pretty flat, it's good weather. Yeah, and the captain restlessly taking watches on the conning tower. Yeah, guys, great to have you in. See the number of watches going up. So great to have you. Just lurk if you just want to lurk. You're completely anonymous, but let me encourage you to take part in our little chat that we have here. Yeah, I'm curious. I mean, at the moment I never saw quite some influence of the wind direction on the waves. That would be great if you had that. And if it would really make a difference if you have the wind from the bows or astern or from what? Missing the word. Quer up. A beam, right? Yeah, having the wind from right abeam. Let's give it a save. And let's peacefully carry on. Where are we? Yeah, we might have done a bit more than half the way to the rendezvous point with the milk cow.
Torpedorohr 2 gewartet. Ich benötige hier etwas Unterstützung.
Jawohl, ich kümmere mich darum.
Ich benötige hier etwas Unterstützung.
Betrachten Sie es als erledigt, Herr Kalon.
Torpedorohr 4 gewartet.
Ich benötige hier etwas Unterstützung.
Ich könnte etwas Hilfe gebrauchen.
Jawohl, Herr Kalon.
Ich könnte etwas Hilfe gebrauchen.
Jawohl, ich kümmere mich darum.
Ich könnte etwas Hilfe gebrauchen.
So, what's the status? Discipline of the crew is still fine. Yeah, we just let them have 3 weeks of shore leave. And yeah, the fuel is down by 20%. So if you would go all the way to the American coast, you would have used, I guess, something like maybe almost 40% of your fuel. And if you consider you need 40% back, you only have 20% to roam the coast. So patrolling the American coast is actually only possible when you have the milk cows to refuel on the way. Let's take a look at the stores. very good that I did that. Yeah, when you run out of food, you really get trouble. Weight loss. Yeah, but look, I'm doing cruise speed. I mean, I'm going forward here. Forward 3. So would you really go slower, I mean? It would take ages if you would do that on something like Langsam or Kleine Fahrt. You aren't serious about that, are you? Yeah, okay. Yeah. So I would guess that the programmers did a pretty much of a deep dive into U-boat technology, and maybe they knew and maybe they did some changes for the sake of gameplay, playability. Yeah, right, since I have the milk cow. I could even go flank speed to accelerate it, but somehow I feel like it would be a bit risky. You never know. You might arrive at the position of the milk cow and the milk cow might have become sunk. I had that once. One of my milk cows, a few missions ago, got sunk. Luckily, I had another one. Let me check. Milk cow to La Rochelle. Yeah, almost 2,700 miles actually.
Ich benötige hier etwas Unterstützung.
Natürlich, Herr Kaloy.
Ich benötige hier etwas Unterstützung.
Navigation
Yeah, I need a
besetzen.
bit better navigation precision, please. Yeah, I think it's really a bit of your personal gut feeling which kind of time compression you like best. Yeah, okay, 3 days is not much, yeah. So what is it later in the war? Is later in the war fuel really getting rare?
Torpedorohr 2 gewartet. etwas Hilfe gebrauchen.
Jawohl, ich kümmere mich darum.
Okay, thunderstorm going on. Well, it's getting late in the year and the Atlantic is getting more and more rough towards winter.
Ich könnte etwas Hilfe gebrauchen.
Jawohl, ich kümmere mich darum.
Yeah, I did still do save a lot of fuel because I do this kind of, Charlie thing
Ich könnte etwas Hilfe gebrauchen.
Jawohl, ich kümmere
to always make sure that I have officers on the engines. Okay, yeah. I've been watching some documentaries, some British documentary some time ago, but maybe it was not that. I'm gonna check it. I guess you might get it on Amazon.
Ich benötige hier etwas Unterstützung.
Jawohl, ich kümmere mich darum.
Yeah, yeah. Low navigation accuracy, yeah.
Etwas Hilfe gebrauchen.
Thanks for the hint. When do we get sunrise? So something like 8:30. But yeah, we already know we have to keep in mind that this time is European time and we have some time shift. So sunrise and sunset is later than you would expect it from the time. So we are moving west. Sun must be rising behind us. There it is. Yeah, look at the swell, at the beautiful spray. And the water on the lens. I love it. Well, let's give it another save for now. Mr. Drummer, you have to do an additional watch shift. I want to have a higher navigation precision, please.
Hilfe gebrauchen.
Wird erledigt, Herr Kaloy.
That feels just too low.
Ich könnte etwas Hilfe gebrauchen.
Wird erledigt, Herr Kaloy.
Ich benötige hier etwas Unterstützung.
Jawohl, ich kümmere mich darum.
Yeah, by the way, you see Mr. Schneider constantly working on the maintenance of the torpedoes. That's his, special duty. Getting the torpedo out and giving it some maintenance. You could also give him additional sailors so that it would work faster, but we don't need that Right now it's just routine, so he takes care that the torpedoes are always on some particular maintenance level, although right now he didn't quite succeed, so whenever you are actually going into action, you really have to make sure that the torpedoes are on the best maintenance level, or you run high risk that you get dots.
Ich könnte etwas Hilfe gebrauchen.
Navigation besetzen.
Ich benötige hier etwas Unterstützung.
What about the food? We have a bit of water in the bilge. That's just natural from spray or something when the crew opens and closes the exterior hatch. And there is always some tiny leaks and water seeping through gaskets without having any critical hull breach. Yeah, we still have a big bonus on discipline from last vacation, so we really don't have to offer different types of food. On we go, it's midnight. 2 o'clock, change of watch.
Ich benötige hier etwas Unterstützung.
Mr. Trummel take a rest. So at the moment I am letting Mr. Trummel go 2 watches in a row at the map and then having only 1 watch of rest, which is 8 hours of watch and 4 hours of rest. But yeah, he can do that for a little while.
Ich benötige hier etwas Unterstützung.
So 8 o'clock. Yeah, the sun is not yet up, but we have that beautiful coloring of the eastern horizon. Just about to rise. Still not yet. There she is. There she is. So ASW, was it some kind of a air patrol campaign or some systematic net to cover the Atlantic with air patrols? Oh. Mr. Trummel. At that point, please, let's get a save. You never know what that means. But Mr. Trummel wants to talk. Let's see what he's got. Oh, mold. Officer. Yeah, our bosun, Mr. Trummel, reports a problem in the galley. Upon opening the stores, he found a layer of mold growing across the preserved pork. It appears Badge has been affected by the damp conditions. While the affected portions can likely be cut away, leaving the remainder edible, this development will undoubtedly be a serious blow to morale. Men will be unhappy if we order them to consume this food. Come on, throw it all away. I hope that we are gonna be able to restock our food at the milk cow. Okay, so it's the overall anti-submarine warfare, probably including then all the escorts and air patrols and everything. Yeah, throw it all away for now. So what does that mean for our stores? Okay, now we are really in need of the replenishment of our stores from the milk cow. But yeah, until now that never was a problem.
Ich könnte etwas Hilfe gebrauchen.
Navigation besetzen.
Ich benötige hier etwas Unterstützung.
Bestätige.
So we are getting into the area. It's getting foggy. Well, maybe now I wouldn't like to have the fog, because sooner or later we have to find that milk cow. Give it another safe and radio for the milk cow now.
Ich könnte etwas Hilfe gebrauchen.
Betrachten Sie es als erledigt, Herr Kaloy.
Yeah, the weather doesn't look that friendly anymore as it was. Now,
Ich könnte etwas Hilfe gebrauchen.
let's have Mr. Hinrich at the... Oh no, we can't just do it. Mr. Preen.
Funkraum besetzen.
Yeah, Mr. Hinrich, please check the radio and get into contact with the milk cow. Yeah, request resupply.
Funkspruch erhalten.
Coordinates added to the map. Alright. There we go, and you can
Ja?
go back to your off watch. Turn in, please. Will you?
Zeit für eine Auszeit.
Alright, there it is.
Kurs setzen.
Yeah, now let's go flank.
Äußerste Kraft voraus.
Maybe we would like to reach them still at daytime. But yeah, probably we won't. Six o'clock.
Ich benötige hier etwas
TikTok.
Unterstützung.
Wird erledigt, Herr Kaloy.
Kurs auf diese Koordinaten setzen.
12 knots, so the weather is not too bad. Well, the sea looks pretty choppy actually. Yeah, we are still far out of vision range, even if it were better weather. Now we close in. the day. Yeah, it's almost 8 o'clock, but we still have a bit of daylight. That's, yeah, as I said, due to the fact that our clock shows European time. Yeah, maybe send a few
Ich könnte etwas
more
Hilfe gebrauchen.
hands to the observation on the conning tower.
Torpedorohr 2 gewartet. Torpedorohr 1 gewartet.
Okay,
Halbe Fahrt voraus.
there we are coming in. Yeah, and we still have daylight. The sun is still a hand or something over the horizon, above the horizon.
U-Boot 10 Grad. Langsame Fahrt voraus. Kurs setzen. Kleine Fahrt voraus.
All right, there we have eyes on them.
Kurs setzen.
Jawohl, ich kümmere mich darum.
Hey guys,
Alle Maschinen stopp.
stop the engines. Keep it safe. Let's hope that we are not getting too close. Yeah, that getting that code of the Enigma, that was quite some important part, right? Amazing guy, that mathematician. What was his name? Well, I will remember in a minute. But now let's get into contact. It's a friendly supply ship, often called Milk Cow by the U-boat crews. Send a delegation. So whom am I gonna send? I am gonna send our chief engineer, our first mechanic, and our bosun. There they go, and let them be accompanied by 6 crew hands. And there they go. Yeah, Alan Turing, yeah, thank you, that was the guy. Okay, so this conversation asks how their service is going. Well, so they were attacked by an aircraft and lost 1 hand. We are sorry for your loss. So show me your cargo. Yeah, lots of bread. Okay, here we can get some bacon back. I want to do one thing. Can we get to our own sub? Yeah, we can switch. And what I would like to do is well, I don't know. Yeah, usually I want to have one slot free here, just in case. Yes, move up the release. Yeah, I hope they are in time. Hope that we don't get any more delay, but well, I think they clearly stated it for end of January. And my gut feeling tells me that they will deliver it then. And the fuel. Let's not forget to refuel. Okay, I think we can go with that. So, return to the ship. And do the transfer. There we are. Look at the stores. Yeah, right. Yep, that's the guy, Alan Turing. Great mathematician that guy was. Yeah, just in total a pretty sad story. So he saved the asses of the Allies from the U-boats by decoding that secret code of the Enigma. And yeah, later after the war they treated him pretty badly. Guess you know the story. Bit of water in the bilge. Yeah, come on, we can turn on the pump briefly. So let's go. Let's see that we get clear of that submarine. And then heading our course northwest. Yeah, it would be amazing to see. Actually, this summer holidays we went to Ireland, but we only went to the Republic actually. So haven't been there. And I might have mentioned it already that it was a wonderful experience. Coming back, I can just say that I love Ireland. Hi, Chainsaw. Great to have you in. It's a pleasure. How are you doing? Give it a save. We are fully refueled. So let's carry on and go for our mission area.
Ich könnte etwas Hilfe gebrauchen.
Oh, maybe I should turn on the engines.
benötige hier etwas Unterstützung.
Jawohl, ich kümmere mich darum.
Ich könnte etwas Hilfe gebrauchen.
Jawohl, ich kümmere mich. Navigation besetzen.
Yeah, we are still on the way. So it's meanwhile it's a big effort to get into the target area. So beginning of the stream we started in La Rochelle and I chose to do another mission of the Operation Drumbeat mission set. And as you see, we just rendezvoused the milk cow, got fresh food, and yeah, actually some of our food got spoiled on the way, so it's pretty good that we could get fresh food and refuel. And now we are on the way to the mission area.
Torpedorohr 2 gewartet. Ich benötige hier etwas Unterstützung. Ich benötige hier etwas Unterstützung.
Jawohl, ich kümmere mich darum.
Ich könnte etwas Hilfe gebrauchen.
Natürlich. Navigation besetzen.
Ich könnte etwas Hilfe gebrauchen. Betrachten Sie es als erledigt, Herr Kaloy.
Ich benötige hier etwas Unterstützung.
Natürlich, Herr Kaloy.
Ich benötige hier etwas Unterstützung.
Betrachten Sie es als erledigt, Herr Kaloy.
Ich könnte etwas Hilfe gebrauchen.
Jawohl, Herr Kaloy.
Ich könnte etwas Hilfe gebrauchen.
Jawohl, ich kümmere mich darum.
And a bit more navigation accuracy, please.
Ich könnte etwas Hilfe gebrauchen.
So, what's the weather looking like? Yeah, good weather. Just partly clouded. Yeah, it would be nice if the direction of the wind would have more impact on the gameplay in future. The strength of the wind does have considerable impact already, not the direction, like making you go faster with the wind and slower against the wind and having different directions of the waves which affect how you go through the waves and how much shaky the ship actually is.
Navigation besetzen.
Ich könnte etwas Hilfe gebrauchen. Ich benötige hier etwas Unterstützung.
Bestätige.
So now we are just about to enter the mission area.
Navigation besetzen. Kurs setzen.
Here we go.
Jawohl, Herr Kaloy.
Kontrollgebiet erreicht.
Alright, let's report this to the headquarters.
Raum besetzen.
New objectives sink 10,000 tons.
Ich benötige hier etwas Unterstützung. Wird erledigt, Herr Kaloy.
Yeah, let's report that to the headquarters. We've reached the target area.
Telegram gesendet.
Yeah, I definitely have to check that documentary. Sounds pretty interesting. Now it's 10 o'clock in the morning. Wind speed 11 knots, so that's a bit of a wind, but okay. And the sun is rising. So at that point, please allow me to be AFK just for 1 minute. I'm gonna give it a save. And let me pause here. Yeah, be back in 1 minute. All right, back again. Yeah, it sounds very good, and I do have the impression, Colin, that you know what you're talking about. Hey, Wolfalo. Ahoy, long time no see. Nice to have you in. How are you doing? So, I just got me a glass of wine. That was the interruption. And nice, Wolvulu, you are playing Bannerlord as well, yeah. Yes. Yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm enjoying the fact that it was my last day of work this year. Today. So it's 2 weeks of holiday for now. Yeah, I actually also played something like 40 minutes of Bannerlord before I went into this stream. Yeah, great. That's great. So let's enjoy the time, and I think I'm gonna do a lot of streaming for the next 2 weeks. So here we are. Let's get somewhere into the mission area and do our patrolling. Now, Mr. Hinrich, you can turn in again.
Ich könnte etwas Hilfe gebrauchen.
Natürlich, Herr Kaloy.
So, what do I used to say? Every 6 hours a hydrophone check? Yeah, maybe let's get a little bit deeper into the area before we do the first one.
Ich benötige hier etwas Unterstützung.
Let's see that we reached that waypoint, and when we are on our course well north. Okay, now good point in time to do the hydrophone check.
Ich benötige hier etwas Unterstützung.
Yeah, it's 6 o'clock in the evening, but due to the time shift and us having European time on the chronometer, it's still bright daylight. So guys, let's do a hydrophone check. Our first one in this mission.
Tauchen auf 50 Meter.
Yeah, beautiful. Again, you see the crew running to the front compartment. You see Mr. Arles opening the valves, 2 crewmates manning the depth steers. And yeah, through the open valves, the Atlantic streaming into our ballast tanks. First, the 4 ballast tank. To drag us down forward, and then the stern ballast tank. There we are. And yeah, all this is being done in some kind of standard workflow, so you don't have to do all that micromanagement for each hydrophone check. So the crew brings the boat down to 50 meters, stops the engines, and then Mr. Preen, in this case, is gonna do some listening. So what is... okay, we have used a lot of food again. Engine stopped. And silence. Now the wind speed is 10 knots, which is moderate. Let's see what hydrophone range we achieve at that weather. Yeah, maximum.
Kriegsschiffe, kleine Gruppe. Peilung 0 Grad.
Wow, man of war.
45 Meter.
Only man of war. That's bad. Yeah, if you think escorts, this is not accounted
Tor 1 gewartet.
for tonnage. But I'm not sure.
Geräusch.
Would actually capital ships, capital men of war, would they account for tonnage? I would feel it being pretty unfair if you sink a aircraft carrier or a battleship and you wouldn't get the tonnage accounted. Yeah, so you see we have an enormous hydrophone range down here.
Herr Kapitän,
Aktuelle Tiefe 45 Meter.
So with this contact being a military task force, they say. But is this realistic that they are purely military? Convoy 01. Well, they said it is military. Warships. Yeah, it might still be that we only hear the warships. Hey, come on. Can't be.
ich erwarte Ihre Befehle.
Just 2 ships. Yeah. Well, possible that they are military.
Schraubengeräusch. Handelsschiff. Peilung 240 Grad.
So that guy is single merchantman, I would guess. And what about the other contact? So that one is closing in. High speed. Single high speed 01.
Wie lauten Ihre Befehle, Herr Kaloy?
Torpedorohr 2 gewartet.
Well, we could. Should we try to intercept that high-speed ship? It's probably moving that way across the Atlantic towards the east. And shall we try and intercept that one? But I think we're gonna avoid that little military task force there. Don't want to get in contact with them for now. If they say it's moving with high speed, let's assume that they are moving with the speed of, might well be 15 knots. And I would assume that they are going that direction towards Europe, of course. Yeah, let's finish the 5 minutes of hydrophone check, just in case we still missed some contact. And then see if we can intercept that guy.
Anblasen.
Yeah, well, as all my crew is already completely leveled up, I really don't need the XP at the moment.
40 Meter.
So if we go like that, assuming us to go 17 knots. So after an hour we would be there. Let's do that. Let's do it like that. Well, I would really kind of
Torpedo Rohr 3 gewartet.
calculate or wager.
Auf diese Motoren wechseln.
Herr Kaloin, wir sind
Oh,
aufgetaucht.
just they said there is a large convoy somewhere there. That was just when we were resurfacing. Well, let's go for that one for now. Time, yeah, it's evening. So it might become a night encounter. So Mr. Arles, please, it's your off watch, but I need you at the engines to go flank.
Voraus.
10:06. Yeah, let's go for 7:10 and give it a save.
Torpedo Rohr 4 gewartet.
Yeah, we could also go half an hour and do the hydrophone check now. Nah, come on, let's do the full hour. It was 10 past, right? Here we are. So obviously we went a little bit slower than calculated and
Tauchen auf 50 Meter.
go for the next hydrophone check.
Aktuelle Tiefe 5 Meter.
And there we are, going down. Down to 50 meters.
Meter. Aktuelle Tiefe 45 Meter.
There we are. Mr. Preen,
Warte Ihrer Befehle.
so please listen.
50 Meter.
So we had one data point for that ship, one hydrophone contact, and now 1 hour later we will get the second, hopefully.
Torpedorohr 4 gewartet.
45 Meter.
Yeah, it's very deep around here. It's 2,500 to 3,000 meters.
Schraubengeräusche. Großer Konvoi. Peilung 320 Grad.
50 Meter.
Schraubengeräusch. Handelsschiff. Peilung 50 Grad.
Convoy 01. It's there.
Wie lauten Ihre Befehle, Herr Kaloi? Schraubengeräusche. Kriegsschiffe, kleine Gruppe.
And that
Peilung
guy.
155 Grad. Herr Kapitän?
Yeah. The guess is that they are moving roughly like that. And yeah, in 1 hour they went 13 miles, which means that they are going with 13 knots. And now what else? That other contact, that military one, they are moving fast, aren't they? That must be the same military 01. So he's moving also pretty fast. Let's see what else, if we still get that contact there, or if it has moved out of range, out of detection range.
Herr Kapitän?
Yeah, let's patiently finish that 5 minutes period of hydrophone check. You never know, you might still detect something, and yeah, we are still missing that contact, but probably it went out of range. So now,
Anblasen.
for them, another hour. Bring them there. So we are in a perfect position to intercept their course. We just have to do it smart. We don't have another chance because they are moving too fast.
25 Meter.
Tiefe 5 Meter.
Auf Dieselmotoren wechseln.
Herr Kaloin, wir sind aufgetaucht.
So, there might be some action coming. Flank speed.
Jawohl, Herr Kaloy.
Shall we go for half an hour? Half an hour flank speed might bring us there. And then do another hydrophone check to get another data point. 2 data points are good for extrapolation, but might still be pretty imprecise. Extrapolate the course, interpolate their speed. Here we are. Guys, give me. Yeah, still lots of daylight, that's good. They are still too far away to see any hint of smoke column on the horizon.
Tauchen auf 50 Meter.
Yeah, give me another hydrophone check. Yeah, there you see the crew clearing the bridge. Beautiful. Having closed the hatch. That's so beautiful. If you, look at the texture of the bolted steel. And the wood planks. That's so lovely.
Aktuelle Tiefe 5 Meter.
Whoop.
E-Motoren wechseln.
You're really inclined to hold your breath if you see that.
25 Meter.
Schraubengeräusche. Großer Konvoi. Peilung 3 Grad.
Okay, these guys are still there. What's
Aktuelle
their
Tiefe
direction?
45 Meter.
Schraubengeräusche. Kriegsschiffe, kleine Gruppe. Peilung 150 Grad.
Okay, that's them. Looks like they're going pretty slow. Convoy 01. Ah, that can't be. According to that, well, okay, it was just half an hour. So, according to that, they are moving with 6 knots. That's a bit slow. Maybe 7. But, okay.
Aktuelle Tiefe
It's a
45 Meter.
slow moving convoy, obviously.
Kaloy.
It's them. What about... Alright, them guys there. That was the military 01.
Torpedorohr 2 gewartet.
50 Meter.
Six, okay, yeah, so they're moving with 12 knots, that's consistent, doing 6 miles in half an hour.
Ich erwarte Ihre Befehle.
And now, please give me this contact, he must be there. He must be there, why don't I get that contact? Of course, one thing that already happened to me is that obviously a ship that I was aiming for was sunk by another German submarine. The game is so interactive, the world is so alive, these things happen. But only not out here. In the Atlantic, in the early phase of the war, we ran into loads of German submarines. But out here, I think up to now I never ran into any German submarine here at the US or Canadian coast. So, well, that feels realistic. But please, give me the contact of these guys. Of that fast-moving merchant. He must be somewhere here in the middle. Yeah, there they are. At something like 65 degrees. Degrees. That's him, he's there at least. Just don't know why they don't get the note. 70, yeah, that is exactly where I would have expected him to be. But still, it would be nice if I would get that report of you, Mr. Preen. Having him at 70 degrees.
Torpedorohr 3 gewartet.
So he would be somewhere here.
Schraubengeräusch. Handelsschiff. Peilung 70 Grad.
Yeah, that's him.
Ja.
That's him. So I think my dead reckoning is pretty alright. That was convoy.
Anblasen.
High speed 01. Yeah, he's pretty much where I thought him to be.
Meter.
Meter. Auf Dieselmotoren wechseln.
Herr Kaloin, wir sind aufgetaucht.
Estimated distance by now 13 miles. Another half an hour would bring him there. Another half an hour would bring me
Kurs setzen.
Wird erledigt, Herr Kaloi.
Kurs setzen.
So that's 3 miles for us. And 3 miles for them. So at that point they should be at 6 miles. Let's do that. We're still going flank.
Torpedorohr 4 gewartet.
Ah, fuck. Sorry. Just missed the key. Didn't want to do that. And there they are. Please, Captain. Give me eyes on that one.
Kurs auf diese Koordinaten setzen.
Natürlich, Herr Kaloi.
Halbe Fahrt voraus.
Reduce speed. Yeah, high difficulty level means that we don't have stabilized optics. Okay, it's more or less dead ahead. Can't see it because of that bulky radar, passive radar reflector detector. I think we should dive.
Auf Seerohr.
Go for periscope depth, please. Can't be that they have yet spotted us.
Kurs auf diese Koordinaten setzen.
Betrachten Sie es als erledigt, Herr Kaloi.
Now we have to get into good firing position. Ballast tank is flooded.
Sind auf Seerohrtiefe.
And there we go.
Blick eingesteuert.
Now I want Mr. Grade to take care of the depth keeping.
Handelsschiff. 350 Grad.
That means Mr. Grade is gonna advise
Schraubengeräusche. Großer Konvoi. Peilung 195 Grad.
the crew hands at the depth steer stations to optimize so that we wouldn't breach the surface. I wouldn't send that message right now.
Geräusche. Kriegsschiffe, kleine Gruppe. Peilung 60 Grad.
Kurs setzen.
Velocity probably 13. Angle on bow at the moment. Pretty much like that. My guess is that it is one of these. They are going fast if they want to. Yeah, I need to be in a perpendicular position to their course. Hey, Chainsaw. Great that you're still in. Being busy. All right. Yeah, but great still having you in the stream. Are you preparing Christmas gifts? That might be one of those things that's gonna keep us busy. Another lone ship, yeah, boat strategy, yeah. Come on. Of course, I always... Hey, you have seen my last streams. I did it really hard on convoys. I really went into convoys, so there was this very tough convoy, which I attacked twice. First time being detected just too early, second time I got in, but yeah, did 2 hits, but none of them sank any ship. And yeah, then that other convoy where I really went in and sank 2 ships, damaged 1. So don't blame him not being bold. It's my middle name actually. Call me Josh Bold Slocum. Hey, just kidding. Yeah, but that one is moving fast, so it's a bit tricky to intercept these fast-moving single ships. Let's just hope that it turns out to be US, but I think these guys, they are kind of produced in mass production in the US, aren't they? They must be Allied ships. And I guess it's one of these. Might also be a Liberty. I think the Liberty freighters also can do quite some speed, can't they? But if you ask me, it's always so hard to identify a ship when you're right ahead of it. But my guess is still that it is Let's c3. I'm a bit too much in the way of that ship. Really should get out of their bow line. Yeah, right. That's so hard.
Ja?
Still have these other contacts. Let's update them.
Ja?
It's this one. All right. So next point there. Next data point. Convoy 01.
Herr Kaloy?
Oh, another one there. Okay, that's buggy. Don't rely on that one. That's kind of buggy. Let's forget about that one. So now I am getting on the port side of them.
Kurs auf diese Koordinaten setzen.
Jawohl, Herr Kaloy.
Now let's go for a parallel course. I think I'm getting into a good position. Could I guesstimate the distance? Yeah, still quite far away.
Kleine Fahrt voraus. Kurs auf diese Koordinaten setzen.
Yeah, let's lower the periscope. It's pretty flat sea. Not to run the risk of them spotting it. And these game mechanics, they're great. It really matters if you have the periscope high up or low down. That really changes how fast, how quick they are gonna track you. Let's just hope that the guy is not gonna do a zigzag leg.
Kleine Fahrt zurück.
Yeah, let's reverse. It's a C3, isn't it? Any guesses from the audience?
Aktualisieren. Entfernung zum Ziel. 6, 5, 2, 7 Meter. Kurs setzen. Kurs setzen.
Jawohl, ich kümmere mich darum.
Now, let's take a look at the status, at the maintenance status of the torpedoes. Okay, there is some job to be done with the torpedoes.
Ich könnte etwas Hilfe gebrauchen.
Bestätige.
Torpedorohr 1 gewartet.
Wenn sich die Sonne neigt, der feuchte Nebel steigt.
Natürlich, Herr Kaloy.
Schraubengeräusche. Kriegsschiffe, kleine Gruppe. Peilung 160 Grad.
Ich könnte etwas Hilfe gebrauchen.
70 degrees right now. Wow. So their angle on bow on us would be something like 16 degrees.
Aktualisieren. Lage 2, 7 links.
Aber meine Augen waren nicht gut genug, also habe ich mir stattdessen der Marine angeschlossen. Ich bereue es jedoch nicht. Ich liebe es, auf dem Wasser zu sein.
What's my distance to their course? 5, 6, 7 cables. Yeah, that should be alright.
Alle Maschinen, stopp! Aktualisieren. Lage 2, 1 links.
Torpedorohr 4 gewartet.
Schussunterlagen aktualisieren. Entfernung zum Ziel. 3, 1, 7, 3 Meter.
Give it a save. We are getting into a very good firing position. Torpedo tube 3 needs maintenance still.
Wird erledigt, Herr Kaloy.
Jawohl, ich kümmere mich darum.
Please be so kind and take care of the torpedoes. Maintenance. 65. One, 20. So question is, which torpedoes am I going to use? I've got the T1, they're all right. One is the steam powered, so maybe I first fire 3 and 4. They are the electric, they are the sneaky ones with no bubble trail, and then one of the T1s with high speed.
Torpedorohr gewartet.
60 degrees. So their angle on bow would be 26. Okay, that looks all right.
Schussunterlagen aktualisieren. Entfernung 2,154 Meter.
Ah, come on, they're neutral. It's Portuguese, isn't it? I'm not quite sure about that flag. I should know, but it's Portuguese, right? Please don't laugh at me if I'm wrong. They are not in the war. Of course, it might well be that they open fire on me when I approach them. Shall we just sink them? I don't know. I really don't know. Ah, come on, we have to inspect them. We have to inspect them.
Halbe Fahrt voraus. E-Motoren besetzen. Anblasen.
Aktuelle Tiefe 5 Meter.
Of course, if they are actually flying false flag, they might open fire on me as soon as they spot me. But we will see. We will see what they're gonna do.
Auf Dieselmotoren wechseln.
guys, flank speed. And get close. At least they're not firing on us, and they're not starting to zigzag. It's Portuguese, I think. Help me, please. I wasn't 100% sure. This is Portuguese, isn't it? We were right with the C3, definitely.
Kurs auf diese Koordinaten setzen.
Yeah, we are moving too fast. All right. Let's get on a parallel course to the guys. Why can't we go faster than 12 knots?
Kurs auf diese Koordinaten setzen.
Betrachten Sie es als erledigt, Herr Kaloi.
Kleine Fahrt voraus.
Send a delegation. Mr. Grader, Mr. Arles, Mr. Trommel, and 6 hands. There we go. You even see that little zodiac going off over there. Okay, the captain speaks German. How they were heading. According to the documents, this ship is directed to the port of Lisbon. Yeah, that's plausible. Put some pressure to state that the documents are false. Merchant skill. The captain explains that this cargo is actually completely common for freighters heading to the port of Lisbon. State that their course doesn't look like. The captain is surprised that you make such claims without any sign of hesitation. Goes for the map and shows you that his course is actually correct. Yeah, come on. The captain of the freighter raises an eyebrow and denies that anything is wrong. He asks you to be more specific. Yeah, shall we search the cargo hold? Yeah, why not? If we are once here, why not doing that?
Alle Maschinen, stopp!
Yeah, checking that one. But I fear that this ship is perfectly alright. Ah, such a pity. That would have been a nice target to sink. Yeah, we have to accelerate a bit. Yeah, the captain speaks German. The papers are all right, and it really looks like they are heading for the port of Lisbon. Let's see what we do find in the hold. Regarding the search, nothing suspicious was found. Review the transported goods. Well, of course they have some rounds on board because they have their own deck guns, so this is unsuspicious. And they have no cargo. Yeah, no point in sinking the guy. Let's report that via radio.
Funkraum besetzen.
Ich könnte etwas Hilfe gebrauchen.
And he's taking up speed again. And carrying on.
Halbe Fahrt voraus.
Yeah, let's us do the same.
Funktelegramm gesendet.
Kurs setzen.
Yeah, there is a convoy there, but it's gonna be tough to catch up with him before he's gonna leave the target area.
Kurs auf diese Koordinaten setzen.
Okay, so that guy seemed to be no proper target. So, guys, it was a pleasure to have you in the stream. It's getting late around here. It's 3 o'clock. Although it's holiday time now, I still have to get up and spend the day with the family, so I can't extend that endlessly. Yeah, 3 o'clock it's a good time, so it was something like 2.5 hour stream, which is alright, and we're gonna continue this one tomorrow, or today, however you would kind of call it. Yeah, 3 o'clock right now around here. So have a good night, all of you guys. Thanks for joining, and maybe see you tomorrow in my next stream. So Chainsaw, if you're still there, have a good night. Colin, I guess you're still there. Vulvulu and Weight Loss. So thanks for joining. DS, I don't know if you're still there. And Artorius, so you were new in the stream. Thanks for joining. So just any guy of you who might be new, of course I'm always happy to get some follow. Don't feel obliged, but if you like what you see, don't hesitate and give me a follow. Or how would it be? What would be the right wording on YouTube? On YouTube, what we call on Twitch a follow, on YouTube is a subscription, right? Never quite sure about that, I have to admit. So guys, see you then. Bye bye.